Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a quick spin on the Love Storm Show. I just wanted to come in today and say love is what you make it. If you love someone, truly love someone, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, prayer, and sometimes it take a moment to just sit and be quiet and listen with the heart, balance with the thoughts. Um, when you're engaging with someone and they feel a little out of the loop with things, it's kind and your God given right to get understanding and balance. That way everyone is on the same page. So you be open. Don't be so quick don't be so quick in haste to react in a harsh manner, because in doing so, you can cause a wall to begin to build. And a lot of times we just react off of some things that we may have experienced in the past, which is normal. So if you make that known with your mate, your spouse, or partner, to bear with you and be patient, you know, just give you a moment to kind of pull yourself together, because sometimes when we're in emotion or feeling of something, we can't always react and respond right away, because in that moment it may catch you off guard. So you might tend to have a defense wall mechanism you pull up to keep yourself from to keep yourself shielded. So be very very open, because we're all adults, and when we're all are adulting, um, it's only fair and right that we speak to each other kindly and consoling each other and reassuring each other that you're there for them. Because true enough, we always feel like, sorry, no, I don't have a steady here in this moment. True enough, sometimes each of us battle with something in some type of way, even though we could be very open with whom we deal with, our spouse, our mates, etc., that we still sometimes tend to hold things back a little bit, and that's okay. So you have to pace yourself, but you always want to reassure that individual that you're there for them, and pace yourself, and give them maybe a little space, but also always reassuring that person that you love them no matter what. Because we don't always know the background of what somebody's battling. I can be open book and tell you all the things that I've been through, but there's always something that's lacking, because sometimes we tend to forget unless we are reintroduced to some type of trauma or some type of or something that recollect to a trauma that we experience. So don't be so rushed and quick to bounce off someone if you really love them. If they're not doing things that is manipulative to, if they're not doing things to um, cause to make you feel or think that to make you feel like you are the reason or the cause for maybe their lack of, then you can make it work. Sometimes we just have to probably give people a little time um, to collect themselves. And I was speaking to someone, I think on Facebook earlier, when they were saying, why is it that people, I want to say people, I want to individualize whether it's male or female, why do some people move on so fast if they were sincerely true in a relationship with someone? It always depends on the circumstances and situation. One I can speak on is that if you empty yourself and open yourself wholeheartedly to someone, and you're giving them all, they know this, but they consider it as a weakness, that the reason that they feel that they can do things and get away with it with you. I know for some women, um, you know, um, can be hurt and going through so much turmoil while in the relationship. It's a cycle that women some women do go through. You have some women that ain't taking nothing. They don't care. But you have some that genuinely have a heart because they can see some things in someone that they're willing to kind of work with them at. And it's not saying bringing all your baggage, but we all have to remember we all human. We're nobody's perfect. If anybody feel like they're just so perfect and don't want to take the chance to shape things, shape their world, then something's wrong. So back to that point of some women heal and go through their pain all right amongst within the relationship they're in. And that's why sometimes it appears that it's easy for them to move on once they have disengaged themselves with a partner. Trust me, each party still hurts. I used to see this little tag saying how, the woman, she hurts and hurt and hurt, while that man, he's out enjoying himself, partying, kicking it, and, entertaining other females. And then the role switches because then that guy realizes, or that female realizes, okay, they really mustn't care because they're not chasing me. See, life is not a game. Love is not a game. That's the most dangerous thing you could play with, is love in somebody's life and heart. If you are not ready, if you are not solely wholeheartedly ready to be involved, don't. That's why I know and have heard some people, and I have even as mentioned it myself, in past, what are you looking for in a relationship? Because some people, you have some people that probably, short term, long term, be honest. Don't place people in a choice to satisfy to satisfy yourself. You have to be balanced. You have to be straightforward, because if you do something all for self gratification, it's gonna crumble. So anytime that you think that you're gonna be involved in a relationship or deal with someone all just to get what you're looking for and not satisfy that other person too and be fair, it's not gonna work, because that person wasn't being honest in the begin with. In other words, if I meet someone and you're interested in them, be so serious to where you want to go. It might not work out. True enough. But I feel like if people are dating and courting, that if you're gonna be sincere, then everything has to be open and straight and direct to begin with. Don't just say things and do things and see how far it can go. If you be straightforward and honest, it will take its course where it needs to be. So that's why I say love is what you make it. Love is definitely what you make it. And we can't be so quick to always point fingers and put everything on that other person, because we too have a choice. And if there's things that's going on, you don't want to hold on to it without addressing it to your significant other. Otherwise, things build up. You have no idea why your spouse or your significant other shells away, shut down. Things all of a sudden changes, and you're wondering why. So I say all that to say this: be straightforward and do what's fair, honest, and true, so that you can have the most amazing, beautiful relationship with whom you with. It's not difficult. I look around and people make relationships complicated. It is not complicated, because if you're being straightforward and honest, unhidden things, things happen. Sometimes we don't have control over right away, because sometimes we do get caught up in our high of the relationship and moment, that we don't think about, some things that may be still kind of lingering. What I mean by that, it may be some people in the background that still think that they could just waltz themselves back into your space, all because they feel like we have to draw lines with people, and we have to do it with no fear. And I think sometimes we as people tend to kind of hold on to some old things because we might fear that something may not just work. Right there, when you do that, you might as well expect things not to work, because you're hiding things. And that's when you're doing it intentional. Because again, sometimes it's unintentional, but a lot of times you have people that do it intentional because they have maybe fear, which shows that they're not confident in themselves, that they're capable of making someone or adding happiness to the relationship that they have chosen to be in. So, you know, once again, their statement, love is what you make it, you know. So if you want to play little games and you want to, manipulate things, you got to expect it. It's going to come back. You cannot get upset and mad thinking your stuff is shielded on the low, low, nobody knows. It's not so. It always resurfaces in the perfect time. And sometimes people may know things and they just want to see how far you'll take it and see if you'll be straightforward and honest. That too can be dangerous, because if you don't speak up on it and you're holding it back, now it's a war of love, because you got two people that's loving each other, but one's scared to open up and be straightforward with the other. So you got this one going that way doing something, and that one going that way doing something. Chaos in the making, destruction of your relationship. Whatever foundation you have built there, it will surely fall. So be kind to yourself when you speak up and you speak to your spouse or significant other. Do it with calmness. For me personally, I know when I speak, sometimes people feel I might be getting loud, but I speak with a lot of expression. And that just comes from some training when I used to speak when I was younger. Like hand gestures and stuff, and it's facial expression, because I notice sometimes when I do that at work or other places, people just look at me and they looking at my hand movement. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just, because it's speaking with emotions. We can use our words and speak with emotion, but when you use that gesture and that tone and those exclamation points, the punctuation points and things like that, people can really, tune in with what you're feeling and what you're expressing. And so, all that to say that is, again, love is what you make it. Love on each other in a peaceful manner. If you're, just don't leave your spouse in limbo wondering what's going on. If you have to take a moment and say, hon, I'm just, in a mental state right now. I just need to kind of relax and pull things together. I need to, don't leave them in a hot space. In other words, if you have a heated discussion or argument and you walk off without letting that person know, hey, I love you. Because I found myself doing that in the past. I might be upset at have somebody have done me, and I tell them in a minute, I love you. Don't get it twisted. But this is a moment of expression and something that have to be dealt with. Because some people take something right away and figure, oh, because you're upset, or you may call them out on something, that they feel like it's over. And that's where people tend to run away from things. That's where they tend to kind of step outside the home, because they feel like, well, it's going to be over with anyway. I might as well go on. No. Don't do that. Reassure each other. It's going to be all right. Sit down and figure out what alternatives and what ways that you both can reach a common ground on things. If you have to write something out, write out what you may be feeling on what solutions can help resolve a situation, vice versa. And then you come together and say, hey, babe, if this comes up or this comes up, this or that comes up, call out a code color or code name or something to say, hey, let's bring each other back to in sync of calmness, so that we can be able to deal with the situation, or to let the person know, hey, I'm kind of heated right now. Let me just, because I don't want to say anything. And it comes off really strong because your blood is at a boil right now, and that's just how a person deal with things. Maybe that's how they deal with things in their past. When things kind of get out of order, out of sync, they probably may tend to be in an upheaval rage. Or for some people like myself, sometimes I'll shut down. But I will surely try to come to all type of level of resolve before I do that, because if I come to a shutdown, personally for me, that's not good because now I'm thinking about, dang, reevaluating myself. What did I do? What did I miss? Was there red flags? Is there something that I missed? I'm just reanalyzing things. Not to say that that's all bad, but I enjoyed speaking and talking with my spouse or significant other, what have you. Um, I just feel like if you keep that relationship open, it will be smooth. And when you know who you are. And what I mean by that, when you know you are a person full of love, love conquers all things. It really does. And that's only if that other individual too that you are sharing that love with is feeling the same way. Um, that it could be so amazing. It'd be wonderful. So, you know, I just want to tell all you people, all my lovely people, love is what you make it. If it's some issue going on between you, go to your spouse and if your other right now, say, hey, I'm sorry. Let's figure this out. And saying I'm sorry does not make you a weak individual. Saying I'm sorry is that white flag saying peace. Let there be peace. I'm coming in a peaceful tone. Let's deal with the situation. Love on that person. I have goosebumps right now because people don't understand how serious it is. The times we're living as we see everything it's so chaotic. And the enemy wants us all to look at each other as enemies. Y'all have to see that, understand that. Everybody is like an enemy right now. That's because that's what the enemy wants us to see. Like there's nobody there for you. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares for you. I rebuke that. You call it out, you rebuke it, and you get into prayer. Even if your spouse or significant other chooses not to, that's okay. Your words is just as good enough, and God will do the rest and handle that. But certainly, if it's worth the fight, fight. Because, you know, people see things coming together for you, and the enemy will start throwing other people in your space, in your circle. They come swinging them, singing those sweet tunes of, I miss you, we could have made it work and blah, blah, Skippy. No, 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 no. Back it up. See, I'm one thing about me. I'm a true believer. If I'm done, I'm done. There's no repeating. There's no backtracking. Because I know what I bring forth. I don't bring a portion of myself. I bring all of myself. And I'm sure so much more of myself that I haven't even adventured yet. And that all comes in place with anybody. Depends on whom you're dealing with, whom comes into your life that could bring out the very best in you. And you get to explore so much more that you can't even fathom. You can't even imagine what other things that because you'd be like, well, I'm content and things is fine. I think that sometimes the point is sometimes we get so content. But if you have not been exposed to other things and other ideas, you won't even know how much more further your love capacity could raise. Be unbelievable, impeccable love journey that you can have. And, you know, live luxury within your confinements in your space. So again, I want to just tell you all, my sweet people, love is everything. Turn it up. Turn it up. Don't be afraid, because I know some people tend to be afraid. But guess what? When you do that, this is the thing. When you turn your love up, being true as to who you are, as to the love that you give another. If that love that say that they're there for you, and they have that love, that same love for you, if it's not so, it will fall off. So don't have fear. Don't have fear. Anything that does not work is a lesson. You gain some knowledge. You gain wisdom. You gain some experience that gives you that growth, because you know what and what not to look for next time. That's not comparison. That's just opening up your broader view on what you need to experience for growth for yourself, and also to share with another. So Don't stop loving so you don't miss your blessing. Be kind, be loving, be joyful, be peaceful within yourself, and always that person, that significant other that you so dearly love, always let them know with your hand, heart, mind, and soul that you're there, that you love them, that you care, and you're willing in every capacity, as so as they wish to bring that same balance to you, that everything's going to be fine, because it can't. One person can't carry the load. One person can't do it alone. So that's all I'm gonna chop up about. So love is what you make it. Love is everything. Turn it up. Turn it up. Let's make fire love. Y'all heard that new song by Young Blue, YUNGBLEU, Walk Through the Fire. It's a beautiful song. It's short. I wish it would be so much longer, but take a moment and listen to that song. It's so beautiful. And that's how love is. It's always flaming in you, and it should always be flaming in you, even if there's some little, crunches along the way. But that love will always supersede anything that you go through, because your love was always and shall always be much more greater than anything that you face. So, with that being said, my loves, don't stop loving so you don't miss your blessing. Neva, your host, The Love Storm Show. Peace.